Coda, to the future.
My efforts these many years have come to fruition, with the world I govern having become a paradise worthy of being called Radiant Garden. Nurtured by the pure water that is the source of life, fragrant flowers bloom in abundance, and the people face each day with hopeful smiles. But where there is light, darkness also lurks. As noted in my earlier reports, I must solve the mystery of this darkness of the heart. This paradise depends on it. I shall perform an experiment to probe the depths of a person's heart. One of my own apprentices, Xehanort, has volunteered to be a subject. The young man has served me ever since I nursed him back from death's door some years ago. He had lost all his memories at the time, but later showed remarkable intellectual curiosity and readily absorbed my teachings. Gaining deep wisdom, any mental immaturity is surely due to his young age.
An uncouth-looking man with a patch over one eye, Brake, entered the square with 2 men in tow. His uniform identified him as one of the guards of the castle in the world of Radiant Garden. "Right this way." One of the men was a large, brawny fellow dressed in the same uniform, Dylan. The other was the ruler of this world, a man called Ansem the Wise. Ansem the Wise had a well-groomed beard and was clad in a white robe. In the center of the square, a young man lay fallen. This silver-haired youth was once known as Terra. Beside him, a woman's suit of armor was scattered about, as if the pieces had been hastily removed. Ansem helped the boy sit up in his arms and addressed him.
"Young man, what ails you?"
The silver-haired youth groaned and opened his eyes slowly.
"Can you speak? Tell me your name,"
said Ansem the Wise.
"Xehanort."
The lad muttered incoherently. Was that his name?
"Xehanort?"
Ansem the Wise asked in return. Brake was smirking off to one side, but no one noticed. Then the young man named Xehanort fell unconscious again in Ansem's arms.
"Quickly, get him to the castle."
"You can count on me." Brake picked Xehanort up at Ansem the Wise's order. "Dylan, get those for me." Brake indicated the armor lying off to the side with a glance, then returned to the castle with quick strides. Terra stood within a darkness so thick not a single ray of light broke through. Oddly enough, he wasn't nervous. If he knew one thing for certain, it was that this was where he belonged. "Darkness rules your heart. It gives me control. Muscle and sinew that once obeyed you now rebels against you. How can you remain here at all confounds the mind." It was Xehanort. The two of them faced each other in the inky gloom. Softly, Terra answered Xehanort.
"It's still my heart. You think you can just come in and take over? I'm not going to sit by and let that happen."
But Xehanort merely scoffed.
Don't even entertain any notions of escaping me, boy. In the end, your heart will be engulfed by mine forever."
Terra shook his head slowly and regarded Xehanort.
"Wrong. You're going to get shown the door, old man," he asserted.
"As I recall, you couldn't even handle your own darkness," Xehanort sneered. "How, then, will you triumph over mine?"
"You'll find out soon enough."
Terra worked his mouth into a smile, then lowered his gaze. Within his chest dwelt a warm light, the light of his relationships. "Oh, so that's how it is it? Someone else has set foot in your heart. Arrakis, you sly fox."
"I'm not afraid of what the darkness holds now. Even if you do wrestle control of my heart from me, even if you cast me into the deepest, darkest abyss, you'll never sway me from the one cause that pushes me to keep on fighting. Whatever the cost, I'm ready to pay it."
"Brave words, to be sure. But I'm a patient man. We can take as much time as we need to settle this little property dispute. However, know this. You are just one of many roads I might choose to take. Trust me, I made certain of that." Xehanort's golden eyes glimmered ominously. Meanwhile, in darkness of another sort, she didn't know how far she had walked or how much time had passed. Aqua simply followed the never-ending path. She had no idea where this road at the bottom of the abyss led either. Still, she had persevered, believing it would take her somewhere. But her feet were so heavy, her faith was giving out. Beside her arose a monster, the likes of which she had never seen. It had a heart-shaped hole in its chest. Aqua summoned her keyblade straight away, but then several more of the creatures appeared around her. She could probably take them in a fight, but she briefly wondered if it would be better to just sink into the darkness. If she did, she wouldn't need to walk any farther. At that moment, 2 lights arrived and streaked toward the monsters. The lights vanquished the creatures one after the other, then soared off into the gloom. There was no mistaking what they were: Terra's and Ven's Keyblades. You too. A smile appeared on Aqua's lips. Now that she thought about it, she had forgotten how to smile after falling into the realm of darkness. Aqua pulled her wayfinder from her pocket and looked at it. When she closed her eyes, she imagined Ven's smile, Terra's firm nod, Master Ericus's warm eyes, Mickey, and the faces of many others she had met on her journey. I'm not alone. You're with me. If she kept moving forward, someday she would be able to see them all again. Scanning what lay ahead, Aqua started off once more. Hey, Mr. Master! Braig slung his arm around the shoulder of the silver-haired youth in white, calling himself Xehanort. The young man looked back at Braig with a dubious expression. Oh, come on! You don't even know your pal? Please tell me the amnesia was just a sick joke. Boy, this is some cliché. Then Braig peered into Xehanort's face. His single eye glinted gold as he studied the youth intently. Hey, you're not Terra. Just gotta check. As if. Well, don't sweat it. I got your back. Braig patted Xehanort on the shoulder. A boy stopped and stared at their backs. It was Yenzo. Holding his hand was Ansem the Wise, who came to a halt behind them as well and turned to look at Braig and Xehanort. Both Ansem and Yenzo were holding sea salt ice cream in their free hands.
I too have had everything taken away from me, banished to a hollow realm of nothingness. What is Xehanort hoping to gain with my pilfered existence? Will my people cease to smile? If the light of hope has been extinguished, I shall henceforth walk with darkness as a friend, here in the realm of nothingness to which I have been relegated. The distant days spent in that peaceful paradise are an illusion to me now. How long have I been here, banished to the realm of nothingness? It is only by relying upon my anger and hatred that I have been able to retain my sense of self here, where all existence is nullified.
It was around the time 2 heroes were finishing their second adventure to bring peace to the worlds. The soft rush of the waves reached their ears. She was on a deserted beach. A hazy light hung in the distance, perhaps the setting sun, or perhaps the moon. She had finally arrived at the edge of the darkness, and here she found a solitary figure in a black cloak. I wonder how long it's been since I've seen another person. Aqua spoke to the figure. Who are you?
Why, hello. It is not often I get visitors.
The reply came in a deep, masculine voice. Please, call me Aqua. Why are you sitting here all alone in the realm of darkness? How did you end up here? She might have been a bit excited to meet someone else. Aqua clutched her chest to calm her racing heart as she peppered him with questions.
Well, I can tell you this is my second time on these shores. But unfortunately, much like the first, I do not remember who I am or whence I came. Everything was washed away in whatever currents carried me here.
That's too bad. Aqua was a little disappointed. She'd hoped that maybe he would know a way to escape this realm, but it was nothing more than a fleeting dream. She sat down on the sand a short distance away from the man and confessed, I know I've been here a long time, wandering through the endless hours, unable to escape. I'm just a little tired. She put her arms around her knees.
You wish to return to your own world?
The man asked quietly. She gave a small nod, then firmly answered, It's my friends. I promised I'd be there for them. I want to return. I have to return to the real world and keep my promise to Ven.
Your friends?
The man murmured softly, then looked out over the waves and continued.
Somewhere in the scrapes of memory I have left. You remind me of a boy I once knew. He is very much like you, true to his friends, and kind. This boy travels to many worlds and fights to keep the light safe.
Keep the light safe? Aqua asked back. Why would the light need safeguarding? What state must the worlds be in? I've been away too long. Did something happen out there? Are the worlds in danger?
Sad to say, they nearly fell to darkness more than once, but at every turn that boy arrived with the Keyblade in hand to save the day.
Keyblade. It had to be the same time Aqua heard the term as well. The worlds had been saved by a boy with the Keyblade. And there weren't many who could wield those. Maybe... No, it couldn't be. Wait a sec. Is his name Tara or Ven? Aqua sat up.
Neither of those, I'm afraid.
Should have known. Of course, Ven wouldn't wake up that easily. Tara was probably somewhere out there, but he wasn't a boy. Aqua didn't know what was happening in the worlds outside. She didn't even know how much time had passed. It was all she could do to keep from succumbing to the solitude and despair. Each time she came closer to giving up, their connection had touched her again. And that had inspired hope in her, that the savior of the worlds could have been either of them.
How long has it been since I met him? At least a year now, perhaps more. Back then my heart was clouded with vengeance. I did terrible things, both to him and his friends. I brought unhappiness to more lives than one.
The man began recounting his misdeeds. The waves lapped at Aqua's feet.
I felt something must be done. Was that why? A means of clearing my conscience? Or perhaps out of a sort of scholarly instinct. While the boy slept in long sleep, I hid the results of my research inside him, transplanting the data to where it might best serve a purpose. In fact, I would like to believe maybe he can set things right. A boy like him who touches so many hearts. He could open the right door and save all those people whose lives I managed to ruin. So many are still waiting for their new beginning, their birth by sleep. Even me, and you.
Aqua lifted her head and looked at the man. There was something she wanted to know. What's this boy's name?
His name is Sora.
The man slowly told her. Tears welled up in Aqua's eyes the moment she heard the name. Hey, you two mind telling me your names? I'm Sora! It was all connected, even now. Sora. Aqua called his name. Everyone was calling his name. Everyone he had met before across the worlds, the three in Twilight Town whom he had yet to befriend, the girl lost between the links of his memories, and Ven and Tara. All were born from sleep and moving toward wakefulness, where we wait for him. The waves rushed softly onto the shore, and the sinking sun fell over the Destiny Islands. Our home, and the home of the other one who left.
Sora!
Riku called out to Sora, who sat alone on a paopu tree. In Sora's hands was a letter from the king, from Mickey. Your mind's made up? Yeah! Sora nodded. Sora... Kairi approached quietly, and Sora hopped down from the paopu tree. Kairi, I know. Sora and Kairi's gazes met, something Riku observed in silence. It's just, they really need me. I have to go. I am who I am, because of them. Everything connected to Sora was connected to the worlds. See you soon, Kairi said. She placed a wayfinder in Sora's hand. Starting a new journey may not be so hard. Or maybe it's already begun. The evening sun sank into the seas of Destiny Islands. Reconnect to Kingdom Hearts. Xemnas sat low in his seat, deep within the castle that never was. Before him lay a single suit of armor and a keyblade.
It has been far too long, friend.
This was the place called the Chamber of Repose. Within the other castle, there was supposedly another chamber that he had yet to find, along with another friend. They would be there, in Castle Oblivion. They were in the hall of the cornerstone within Disney Castle. Sora, Donald, and Goofy. The three of them had been summoned here around the time they were facing Organization 13 in their adventures.
You are heading into a very particular world. Once you discover why, the nature of it may tempt you to do something dark. You must resist that temptation at all costs.
Sora recalled what Merlin had said when they had first come to this world and opened the door to Timeless River. Something screwy's going on here, Donald said uneasily. Minnie told them that the Hall of the Cornerstone was an important chamber where the Cornerstone of Light lay. The Cornerstone, which had once been sealed away by the magic of Maleficent, had now recovered its former gleam. But what greeted Sora and the others on the other side of the Cornerstone of Light when they made their return visit was a vortex of darkness leading to the realm between. Why would something like that be here? Sora tilted his head. His heart was trembling somewhat. Maybe this was from another memory. Okay, let's go! Sora stepped into the forbidden vortex and arrived in a wasteland he'd never seen before. There was a powerful gust of wind, and then a lone man appeared beyond the cloud of dust. He was wearing armor, with the Keyblade in his hand. A deep voice emanated from the kneeling figure with his weapon thrust into the ground.
Aqua, Ven.
Those were probably names. Sora had never heard them before. A Keyblade? At that word, Sora instinctively summoned his own Keyblade. Behind him, Donald and Goofy also prepared themselves. The armored man continued.
Who are you? I know you. We've met before. Way back when.
Had they ever met before? Sora didn't remember that particular encounter. Yet something about all this bothered him.
No, that wasn't you. You're not the one I chose.
His words didn't make any sense to Sora. Then the man slowly got to his feet.
Where is he?
Who? Now standing, the man said the name Sora didn't expect.
Xehanort. Is that you? Xehanort. Xehanort!
Did this guy know Xehanort? Sora didn't have any time to worry about that, though, as the man quickly closed the distance between them and attacked. He was strong, almost impossibly so. Sora was instantly sent flying and hit the ground hard. Wait, have I done this before? But this was no time for contemplation. The man dealt out blow after blow, left and right, driving Sora back. Donald immediately cast a healing spell. Sora managed to regain his composure and struck the armored figure. He was more powerful than anyone Sora had fought up to that point. He couldn't afford to let his mind wander. Sora mustered all the power he could, called on everything he had, and fought. He didn't know how long they had been fighting, but then his opponent suddenly stopped. The armored man regarded Sora, then said in a deep voice,
That's it, your power. That's what I felt within you.
After that, the armor slowly fell inert and didn't move again. End of the Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep light novel.